Yeah, hi guys. This is the test 2, which on backend, which is making an hospital API. So yeah, this is the requirement given us. What is it? Yeah, we are going to design an API for doctors and hospitals. So mainly there will be two types of users, doctors and patients, and they are also given what each particular requirement is. Like the doctor will be able to do two steps, which is check up or create a report and register the patient using his phone number. And they've also given that if you are using a phone number, if the patient already exists, we need to return the patient info. And what they're given, what are the fields are required in the patient report, like created by the doctor, what is the status, and they're given a list of status over here, and the date the report was created. And they've also specified what are the required routes. So yeah, there are almost 6 routes over here. So yeah, and let's see our implementation, like how we have done. So this is basically a NodeJS and MongoDB application. So the index of the index at the starting point looks like this. We have just done basic stuff where we have initialized, and also we have used PassportJS and Bcrypt sort of libraries for encryption and authentication purposes. That's what we are seeing over here. And Mongoose for the backend, as I mentioned earlier. And yeah, we're initializing and defining all our routes, and also we have given a home route like this, where a JSON string will be displayed as a message. So next, let's see our routes. So this is our routes file. In routes we have an index.js where we have defined all our routes through which we are going to make the functions. You can also see the MVC structure here, and for this the view is absent because we already defined the API and not any front end sort of things. I mean, if we need, we can put the views also, but that's not required for now, I believe. So yeah, we have defined the express and the express router, passport, and all such of things, and we have also imported what are the routes and handlers we are going to use over here. So as you see, we have defined all the 6 routes over here. Namely, like doctors will be registered, login, patients register, creating the report, and patients all report, and getting the status of the report. So for this we have all used like 3 different models and controllers for it. We'll look into that now. So first let's see the controllers. So the doctor's controller is defined like this. So as you might have already seen that for doctors we have 2 functions, register and login. So for registers we are going to just get the username and check if it already exists. If it already exists means we are going to respond like username already exists, and if it's the new name, then we are going to create and register him successfully. And the same will also be reflected in the database. In our case we are using the MongoDB database. And yes, this is just if any other error happens, we are using a try catch block over here. So we'll be giving an error in the console. And similar way, we are checking for login also. And for login also, first we are checking if the username is correct. So if the username is not correct, we are going to just respond with a message saying back credentials. And in the same way, we are going to use the for password also we are going to check. And we have a isValid password method. I'll show you later about that. So similar way, if it's not matching, back credentials, and if everything goes on well, we'll get a message namely authentication successful. So yeah, and we are also getting a JWT token, and we have set the time to be expiring 24 hours over here, just for testing purposes. And yeah, that's about it for the doctor controller. Let's see the patient controller. For patient controller, we have like 3 different routes, I believe. 3 different subsets, I believe. So first we will be registering the patient. We are following the similar approach like what we did with the doctor. We're going to first check the patient, and if the patient is already registered, then we are going to fetch and display the patient instead of creating him. So the structure of the patient will be like he will be getting a patient ID and name, and on successful registration they will be moving forward. If anything, in the similar way what you saw here, the try catch block is over here also. And next is for creating a report which is pertaining to the patients, and in that report data we'll be having all these fields: the doctor, the patient name, the status of the report, and the date the report was created. And yeah, similar structure is followed over here also, like how we are going to report creation successful and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and next is all reports. In the all reports thing, we are going to fetch all the reports relevant to that particular patient or ID or whatever we are going to provide. We'll be fetching all the details of that reports. And lastly, in the reports controllers, we have a structure like this, a similar status. The status is when we are going to filter and display the status. Like for example, you might have already seen over here, we have a lot of statuses which are given, right? Negative, traveled, quarantine, symptom quarantine, positive admit, and that sort of status. Once we provide that, we'll be able to fetch all report with that status. And yeah, if on successful, if that particular filter or whatever we call it exists in our database, we'll be having this one, a report with status so and so is being fetched. So if any error occurs or if there is no such thing or we have given a typo, so if it's not matching that, then we'll get no patient with status so and so form. And okay, once you have done with controllers, let's move to models. And this is our doctor model, where for the doctor schema we have provided a username which is a required string and a password which is required string. We have also provided salt, which is a hashing function. I mean, that's used for hashing. That's what I meant. And the patient patient model, we have a structure like name, phone number, and reports. As you might have already seen over here, we need to register the patient using the phone number, and based on that only we'll decide whether the patient is already existing or we need to create a new entry. For that purpose, we'll be using the phone number. And for reports, which are the patient reports, we'll be having it into this array. Reports is like an array structure over here. So finally, the reports. And in reports, we'll be having the schema like doctor is present, the doctor name and ID and sort of things. Patient, what is the patient ID or name and all that relevant fields over there. The status, as we have already seen, the positive, travel, quarantine and all, that will be given over here. And the date which the report was created. And lastly, configuration, we have our database configured over here. This is the database ID and the password is also given over here. And the passport configuration, which is used for authentication. We have also used the Bcrypt libraries in our login functionality to hash the password and save it into a database, so that even when our database is visible to anybody who is not accessible, they will not be able to find the original password. So yeah, now let's get and see our structure over here. So we'll be using it's already hosted on GitHub also. And this is our deployment thing. As I mentioned, we'll be having a JSON string over here. This is just for whether it's working or not. For testing purpose, it was done. Nothing serious over here. So yeah, let's do this. So now you can see, I'll just refresh the database. This is our database which we have connected. So yeah, it's currently empty now. So let's go in and create. This is our URL. So let's fetch the hospital. The deployment URL over here. So this is running on localhost now. So let's give it like this, and yeah, let's do it now. So I'm going to send. I'm giving a username and a password. This is for registering the doctor. As you can see over doctor's register route. Yeah, a small mistake. HTTPS was given 2 times. So let's try it again. Yeah, and we have a message, registration successful, which is the expected result. So once registration is complete, let's get this over here. Let's copy this, and let's proceed to the login route over here. So once we are over here, we'll just use the same structure for login, and in body we have provided the same username and password values. This is the result is from a previous run, so don't consider that for now. So let's send it. Yeah, and we have authentication successful, and we have a token which we'll use for our accessing restricted or authorized only routes. So let's just copy that, and next let's go to patient registration thing. And over here we have an authorization which will be passing it as a header. So let's just change our authorization over here, and let's provide the authorization token we captured. And let's change the URL. Okay, and let's run it. Yeah, and registration successful, the patient ID and name. Okay. Yeah, in the body we will be providing a name and a phone number. So we have a patient registration successful. As I showed you earlier, there is nothing in the database, so this went through, and this is a new entry. And if it is already present, it should be returning the data. So let's just try again. So we'll see whether it's returning the data or not. So it says internal server error, patient already registered, and it provides the patient ID. So okay, let's next go to patient reports, and this is also we need to change our authorization token. Let's grab it over here real quick, and yeah, let's do that. And over here we have status and date. So we are going to create a report for this particular patient. Let's just grab the patient ID also. This patient ID is important over here because we are going to pass it as a header. I mean, not as a header, but in the link itself. So yeah, so let's just copy it over here. Okay, that's done. And let's grab the URL over here. And yeah, this should work. So we are going to create a report for him. The status will be negative, and the date, let's change it to today's date. 8th. Let's send the request. And it says report creation successful, which is the expected. So now it's all reports, and we'll just grab the patient ID again. And just grab this entire thing over here. Yes. And let's copy it over here. And the route will be all reports, which will be fetching all the reports pertaining to this particular patient ID. And let's change the bearer token also. And headers, the bearer token. Okay, we copied that, and let's go here and change the bearer token. And yeah, so let's just send the request. And we have reports of that particular patient name. Using the ID, we are fetching the name of the patient. And we have only one report present now, so we are only getting one report. I'll show you the database also later so that we can get a better picture of this. So lastly, we are going to get the patient report status. So this is a negative status, and for this we'll have an authorization. Let's do the authorization once again. I mean, let's copy the authorization. So going over here, we'll change the authorization token, and in parameters we have a negative, so that this thing what it's expected behavior is that it needs to fetch all the reports that have status negative. So let's just send it, and it says report with status negative and all the reports. For now we only have one entry, which is for the users, I mean the patient's recall, so that we only have one report here. So let's just view the data structure also. So you can see I have not refreshed it, so let's refresh it. So once we should have one record for each. So for doctors, I have created with my own name, and we have password. As you see, I mentioned earlier, we have hashed it completely using that Bcrypt library. And for patient, we'll have a Srikanth. Let's just wait. Yeah, we have Srikanth and the phone number, what we given, and the reports. Only one report exists, so we have given it an object ID from where it will be referring and fetching that report. This particular report will be available over here. So in the reports, you can see that, yeah, we have one report and status negative. I think that just does it, and I already hosted it on GitHub, so I'll be submitting this project. Thanks.